Hello, my name is Jamel Roy, and this is Dissecting Horror. On this channel, I will be reviewing how directors use principles of cinematography and storytelling to make a good horror movie. I will also review how acting, sound design, and editing help the overall aesthetic of a horror film and how it influences tension and mood. I will also summarize my own opinion on the film. I really hope the content on this channel will help elevate your movie-going experience. There is so much to appreciate about horror. If you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. So let's get right into it and start dissecting.
Today, I will be dissecting a scene from Alone. Some spoilers ahead. Alone is a 2020 movie written by Matthias Olsson and directed by John Hyams. It is a story about a recently widowed traveler that becomes stalked, gaslighted, and terrorized by this creepy killer here with the bristle broom stash. Alone is a thriller, so I will be more careful to choose only horror movies from now on, but I do think this scene highlights a lot of the principles I will be looking for when watching and dissecting horror films. I will also summarize why this movie is just barely good. So let's dissect. Here we see our protagonist, Jessica, sitting at a rest stop, smoking, and taking a break from her travels. Up to this point, she has encountered our bristle stash killer several times and is very aware and observant. She is looking for him. There are several things this scene does. First, it blends exposition very well with complementary camera work. Second, it maintains tone and mood while building tension with naturalistic mise en scène. At least this is what it should be doing. So let's watch. Here, Jessica receives a call from her mother, and we obtain new information. Exposition! Notice the shallow depth of field to keep our attention on Jessica. Then there is the rack focus. See how the camera's focus changed to the background? This camera work complements Jessica's paranoia. She is afraid of running into Mr. Stash and his black car. All of this is done while providing basic exposition. We see this again just a few seconds later. The camera pans right, like this, to reveal new information, and then rack focuses once again to the background to reveal another man and a car. But wait, there's more. We also hear complementary sound design during each rack focus. We can clearly hear hard effects like footsteps and doors opening and shutting. This sound design complements Jessica's paranoia. I really like this camera work and exposition. Let's continue. After all of this happens, we cut to a wide shot to reestablish Jessica to her surroundings. Notice the practical lighting here in the light posts. This low-key lighting builds shadows and helps maintain mood and tone while giving this scene a realistic and dark feeling. This wide shot allows the director to reintroduce our antagonist. Watch as he simply strolls in and we end up. Notice the blocking and framing. Both subjects are in this frame, meaning they are connected, and the size of the truck in comparison to Jessica can highlight the impending danger and conflict she will face. This is a great way to drive the story forward. Jessica's fear is confirmed and she must get away. So that is what this scene does well, and this is very appealing and good. It blends exposition very well with complementary camera work, and it maintains mood and tone while building tension with naturalistic mise en scène. Now, ultimately, this movie is just barely good. Its pacing, plot, and camera work were phenomenal early on. The conflict was playful and suspenseful. It was extremely promising. But this quickly changed in the second act, where the camera work struggled to drive narrative, the plot and exposition floundered, and the characters were poorly developed, ultimately leading me to ask the question, who cares? The craziest part is, all of this was intermingled with good cinematography, good exposition, and great sound design. It wanted to be very good. The film could not quite maintain a consistency. I think the biggest disconnect comes from the lack of character development. Our characters had clear wants, but their internal needs were not as clear. Jessica has a flat character arc and ultimately reacts to situations and makes no meaningful internal change. Now, change is not necessary to make a good film, but in this movie specifically, a greater attention to characters would have focused the plot and provided greater subtext. This, in turn, would have fixed some of the remaining issues. Well, that is all I have for now. If you think otherwise or have anything to include, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks for joining me. As always, like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next dissection.